Hello, welcome to Table Talk. I'm Greg Perez, your host, and today I have Mallory Gwynn, and he's with the Chamber of Commerce. He's executive director, and today we're going to talk about some events that have already taken place. And I wanted to know if you would kind of update us on your Chamber Gala.
Well, thank you. Yes, we had our Chamber Gala this year was held at the Willamette Valley Country Club. Fabulous venue, fabulous company for customer service, food, all of that stuff.
And you know how I am. Was it a sellout?
It was a sellout.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
You know, and let me qualify that, right, Greg? Because sellout means that we had exactly who we had.
No, you had a lot. You had a lot of people, right?
No,
that's what I'm talking
exactly.
about.
So very good event. Just can't. I can't stress enough our thanks for such an amazing business community for a couple of different things. First of all, you know, the business community pulls together on all of our events and really make them, right, in terms of donations, in terms of services provided. You know, you have people like the Sassies who always do, you know, they call me like, I never have to call them, they call me, say, okay, your gala's coming up, right? Yep, right. Okay, what do you want for those favors on the table? Chocolate.
Exactly.
And so Teresa's always just so ahead of the game, and that's awesome, right?
And Teresa's from Puddin' Chocolates, right?
Puddin' River.
That's right.
Puddin' River Chocolates, and so there's so many different people that pull together. Jill Marie is our fabulous auctioneer. We've got
she's a hoot.
She's a hoot. She knows Canby really well. But we've got business after business after business who just donate their goods, right? And it's not just the businesses that donate, but it's always the people behind the business, right? Because you have people like the Netters who, you know, the construction company, and Jamie works with Future Focus at Canby High School, but behind the scenes, you know, they always offer up such a great basket. But those are just like everywhere. People just really, really donate. And so, but it's always the people. It's the business owners, but then they say, well, we've got this on the personal side, let's donate that, you know. So
you missed me this year, so
we did miss you this year. But you know, there's always 2018, right?
Yeah,
Great.
No, I will donate
exactly.
2018.
But we, you know, we always put a budget together for, you know, it's part of the Canby Chamber's operating budget helps support that. And so there's that whole section of people and businesses who do a massive generosity of donation, but then there's the people who go there, right? To attend. And that's a whole nother group of people. Some of them are the same people, but typically there's a mix of those. They attend, they have a rear end fun time.
That's good.
I mean, and we had some.
Did you dress up this year?
Oh yeah, this year it was an action and adventure, so we had some amazing table decorations because they come in and decorate their own table, and then you dress accordingly for that. So the Canby Garden Club, you know, they were like 60s, just the radical long hair. You know,
I remember that.
Yeah, it was fabulous, right? I remember
yes,
that too. I do. But so things like that. But these are the people who come. They buy seats and they donate their money that way, and then they bid on those live and silent auction
items. That has to do with money, right?
Yeah, it always has to do with money.
You know how I am about transparency. I'm not going to ask you how much money you made either.
Here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you, that we always put a budget together for gross and net, and I think we came out just a couple $1,000s above our net projections. So. Whoa! Thank you, Canby, and all of you who participated. It's amazing, over and over.
So, new businesses in town. Anything coming in town?
Well, sure. There's always things happening. You know, we saw some
city-wise.
We saw there was the bridal shop that was over in the Holly Mall.
Right.
They haven't left town, contrary to popular belief.
Exactly. We have some other things on that.
They're over on 99E, and in fact, they're in the building that...
the palm reading.
The palm reading, the psychic building. But it's an amazing place, and you really need to visit them. It's a really, really cool that they're still here.
I'm glad they stayed.
And contrary to popular belief, also Puddin' River Chocolates, even though their storefront is no longer there,
Did
they're
they move
alive
out?
and well,
I
my
know
friend.
they are. People were thinking.
Yeah, I know.
They thought they went out of business and they left town. That's not the story.
It's not the story, and so just keep that in mind. They're going stronger than ever. Their business is really one of the reasons they moved, right? Is because they're exploding.
Business flash. I was just over there.
Okay.
To the building site. The holes are dug. The posts will be set in a few days.
Nice.
And so they're building their own business on their own property.
Right, exactly.
And it's huge and they expanded because of their fondue, their products, and their cheese and their chocolates and so forth. So
no, they're like,
they were busting at the seams.
They are gaining so much traction, right? And,
but Puddin' River Chocolates is not gone.
No, they're not
just in a timeout right now.
Yeah, they're just. Yeah.
And they'll be
well,
back.
they're not. I mean, you can find them at different outlets here in Canby. They're still there. So, and that's evidence that things are alive and well there. Right?
Absolutely.
There is. Let's see.
They have a new business that went in there.
Yes.
That's going in there, right?
That's Health Source.
Right.
David Dewar purchased that building. So they're in renovation process right now.
I think
and
it's
fully gutted. And I think I talked to him today at the chamber lunch. And they said, I think we've got everything done, and now we're going to start putting it back together. So that's cool. And just right down the street from there, Lauren Bell has the Bell Building. And boy, if you haven't stopped in to see that,
you need to see it.
It is really, really cool. Not only, the thing I like about, Lauren, Jen, they've been in Canby, right? I mean, they're just Canbyites. But they bring a whole new feeling. Not a new feeling. I think it just so fits the Canby downtown area. Done a lot of cool renovation inside there and have dolled it up. But, you go in there and here's this beautiful bell, right? I just love what they've done to just...
Is it the Liberty Bell?
Well, I think it is the Liberty Bell. It should
it's
be
the Aaron Bell.
But let me tell you what, just stop in and check it out for yourselves, because what they've done there, and I think David is doing the same thing, is they've matched that core downtown feel and ambiance with their buildings, and it's just going to be a fine addition.
You know what I'd like to see down the road? Is that street flop over and have the same thing happen the second. In time it will happen.
It does. And I don't know, here's the thing, Greg. The city of Canby last year, 2016 in June, had, it was prior to June, but the study came out in June by the Leland Consulting Group, and the city invested in this. And primarily it was identification of the two anchor ends, the shopping centers at the anchor ends of Canby, the Fred Meyer Shopping Center and the Safeway Shopping Center. So those are two distinct areas for shopping for Canby. And then you've got the arterial, right? It's the mid-century 99E arterial, and you've got the businesses there that and a lot of people don't know, but we have about 21 to 24,000 cars or vehicles traveling that road every day.
Exactly.
It's a crazy amount of people. And so part of that is doing, building our business on 99 and making sure those businesses are conducive to that level of traffic, right?
Absolutely.
So, and every part, has its inherent issues and they got to deal with them. But then they identified really heavily and by city instruction to analyze the core downtown area. And so I've read that study. It's a 50-page analysis. It's on the City of Canby's website. Anybody can access this thing. It is brilliant. Its identification of the areas that we need to work on are immense. But you see businesses already starting to look at that and say, here's a lot of information here. I mean, they go through demographic study, they go through income study, they go through housing study, they go through all of the demographic information. And it's all the ethnic. A lot of people don't realize, now think about this, just one piece of it. And it's not a huge piece in it because they're talking about a lot of different things. But they identify it straight up for what it is. We have a 25% Latino Hispanic population in the city of Canby, right?
Do.
25%. They also identify that we don't do a job at all a good job at all of identifying that market and
Or the
building
businesses.
our businesses and really begin to put businesses in place, or to attract businesses is more the better term, that address our 25% Hispanic population. It's crazy business. So that's one of those areas where we say it's a no-brainer that we have to get good at the chamber, we've got to get good at the city, we've got to get good from business to businesses. We have to begin to attract to our population.
Yeah, the other thing, with the new building going on in the city, that new building on that city block.
Hanlon project, and it's really going to be called something else, but Mary
Right.
Hanlon is the, yeah.
Right. Once that's in place, and if I was a business person wanting to open up a business,
Yes.
and I know this is coming in, that's a draw for me, customers for me, if I were to open a business a block or half a block away. That's a no-brainer right there. Here's that big one block. If
Yes.
there was a building close by that was vacant, I'd want to be in it.
Oh my gosh, there is
While the
such
construction's going on,
While
I
the
wanna be in
construction
it.
is going on, so I hear maybe there's a coffee house coming.
Yeah,
up
you
in
never
town.
know.
You just never know what's going to happen,
Absolutely.
right? Look, you hit it on the head. Right now, the opportunity for our core downtown area to become what it could be, and it's got pieces of it already, but I don't think we do. Business to business, we're not doing enough.
We haven't put the puzzle together
Institution
yet.
to business, we're not doing enough. Like chamber, like city, we still don't do it. And I can't speak for the city. I'm not the city. I'm the chamber, and I can tell you from
Right.
the chamber's perspective that we don't do enough.
One business is going to complement the other business. So it's
They
like
do.
a puzzle.
They- absolutely.
It's like a puzzle because
100%.
in other small cities that we both know about,
Yeah.
they only let people in that they know that they don't already have, or to complement the business that's here or across the street.
Oregon City is a great example,
Great example.
of what you're talking about. Right now.
Exactly.
Right?
And it's, we're in the process of making this happen. We are. The wheel's turning right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And we're starting to realize that we're missing a market, and then there's going to be more marketable businesses with a block going in.
Absolutely. So I think one of the key pieces is to begin to look at some of the things that we're doing, but it's incumbent on all of our business population, business community right now. Man, if I was a business right now, and who knows, right?
Yeah.
But I've read that business study literally 3 times all the way through, word for word, and I'm still reading it and going back to pieces that are in there. But let me give you another example. So right now, by virtue of the numbers that we can derive from the Clackamas County Event Center office and other institutions around, so we know that there's approximately, or a little bit more than 550,000, that's over 500,000 people come into Canby every year for tourist attractions. So that would include the rodeo, that would include the fair, that would include Master Gardeners, their plant sale.
Dog
That
show.
includes Flock and Fiber, Car Show, Brewfest,
Dahlia Festival. Tulips.
Another 80,000 people come into Canby just for the weekends, the festival weekends at the Dahlia Festival, and the subsequent weeks that are on other side of that festival. So the dahlias come into bloom. But the grand total is right around 80,000 people through our town, and the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival draws about 200,000 people every year. And you know what? There's a fraction of those, and it's not a small fraction. It might be 25 to 35% of that traffic comes right through on our arterial 99E.
We don't have a hotel for them to stay.
Well, we don't have a hotel, but what do we do? How do we get people off of that arterial
And
into town, right? And it's more, listen, we can put banners out there on 99E, we can dress it up with flowers, we could do all kinds of, make a walkway over it, we can do all of those things, and I think there's credible pieces to some of those things. But here's when you sift that all out, Greg, here's the heart. And I think Cusforth understands this, some of the other business around understands this, but I don't care what kind of business you have, it is all about relationships.
Absolutely.
It's all about people serving people. And if our businesses don't have the very best front line, I mean, when customers walk in the door, they're greeted by the very best people person out there. They're doing themselves a disservice.
Right.
They just absolutely are.
First impression is lasting impression.
It is, and you can't rely on. Look, there's great business owners who've come up with great products and everything. They may not be the best front person for them. They may not be.
That's okay.
Look, it's just a matter of identifying that and saying, who is the best people person? Because if we're not, as business owners and as potential business owners, if we don't have a front line that every person that comes into the door identifies the invisible sign that hangs on every person's front off their neck, and that invisible sign says, make me feel special.
Yeah.
Right? That's the invisible sign that everybody has. And so how do we do that? How do we attempt, or what is our energy input into making our customer base feel like they are the central piece of our business?
Another piece to that is something tangible. They like to feel, see it,
Absolutely.
and touch it.
And smell it. And taste
smell it.
All
So
of those things.
A
It's
business
sensory.
like that
Yes.
is going to be a draw for somebody because they can see,
Absolutely.
feel it, touch it, smell it.
Yeah, but absolutely. So it is a matter of the senses, because those are our emotionals, and the limbic system in our
Exactly.
in our brain works with those emotional impacts, right? Whether it be sight, sound, smell, whatever, touch, feel, all of those things. But look, it doesn't matter if you're a boutique retail outlet, brick and mortar retail. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer and you've got a place that you've got to have the best front person there to make those people who come in the door feel special, or a dentist, or a doctor, or a salon, I should say, or a saloon like Backstop, or Backstop,
Or
Barker,
the hair.
or the hair. Look, you got to have your best foot. You got to have your best people forward there. You just have to.
One thing I'd like to say and see is we have like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 major events in town throughout the year. For each business to tie into that big day, 10% off if you come in with 4 people.
Yeah.
Or, a special over here. But everybody capitalizes on a big event.
Yeah, for sure.
They stay open and they promote themselves because the market is here.
And the market is here. So let's carry that logic out. So I'm downtown and I'm a chiropractor, right? How I may say, you know what, I understand that whole concept, but for a chiropractor, I'm not open on the weekends, or I'm a dentist, I'm not open on the week. How can I really seriously, you think I can benefit from that? I believe people can. Maybe I'm naive.
No,
but I believe people can.
You miss a market on Saturday, close Sunday, Monday.
There you go.
People work through the week.
Sure.
They don't have time to leave the office
yeah.
and go to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
That's just one example.
It is one example, but listen, if I'm, as business owners, that's the whole point. It's being attractive to the audience that is presented to you, right? That's what it is. And hospitality defined is the relationship between the guest and the host. And when we host, when Canby, the town of Canby hosts an event, it could be the tree lighting in December. It could be Junk Refunk in August. It could be the rodeo. It could be any one of the street dance, any of those things. Look, if we are a part of, the business owners are a part of Canby, then guess what? It's your event too.
Exactly.
Right? And so what can we do? Because look, people buy from people. Whatever
what I'm going to hear is
or product.
How am I going to tie into that?
Well,
how am I going to be affected by these numbers here? And I'm right here.
And here's the bottom line answer to that. If you don't think out of the box, guess what? You won't.
Exactly.
But you got to think out of the box and say, how can I not? It's no good for me because it's not my thing. But look, we have to think differently because, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expect different results, right? So don't do the same thing. Do different things and expect different results.
But I'd like to give the business owners a fair chance. Not everybody's a marketeer. not everybody can market their business.
No, not everybody is.
It's like a quarterback. Just because he's a famous quarterback doesn't mean he can coach.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And I'm not the best marketer. I know that. But here's what I do know.
Yeah, we talk a lot. Table talk, we know.
Yeah, yeah. Talk's nothing. But here's what I do know. There are plenty, and I do mean plenty, of really fine marketers here in
Oh, there is. Most definitely.
I mean, people that you wouldn't even think might be marketers are amazing people.
They see things through their eyes that we neglect to see.
Totally. They see it from a very different perspective. And I think one of the things that we can do is, as business owners, is not just confine ourselves to our own little world, but expand and broaden out and look at some other successes and say, now who's doing their stuff? Right? Because they're doing stuff. I mean, I look at Cutsforth, for example, right? Here's the classic Thriftway, home-owned Thriftway store, right? Well, it's not even a Thriftway store anymore. It's Cutsforth Market. Why did they make that shift in name? Because they changed themselves from being a grocery outlet to a little pizzeria over here, a little coffee shop over here, nice deli bakery over here. We got some of the probably the strongest representation of wine and beer in the city of Canby.
And a fresh meat market.
I would say, and the fresh meat market, the seafood market. So there's a classic example of a business who is a grocery store, right? But they don't think like a grocery store.
They've thought outside the box.
They have thought outside the box. So,
and you have to go with the times.
and
Times
you do,
change.
times do change, and so does market, right? If times are changing, the market changes. So you got to be close to the market at all times.
Right.
And so to say, well, it's not my market. It's like, well, you know what? Then maybe you just haven't gone outside and looked around a little bit.
When we stop traveling, which, I don't know when that's going to happen. But
Never. You travel so much. Get out of here.
I would really like to open a business in Canby.
Yes.
And I could, even though there's a lot of other businesses here, because I'll get a little niche of something that nobody else has. And it's tangible. You can see it, feel it, and you're going to want it.
Absolutely.
And can't tell you my ideas. Hey, I'm happy that the two new businesses over there between Taco Bell and Burgerville,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
that they're coming in town. You know what? There's
Yep.
enough room for
sure.
everybody.
For
Everybody has their own style.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to go and sit. People like to go in, run out. People like delivery, whatever. But there's enough room for everybody.
Oh, and I think, just the Scots, just think of them for a second. They saw the vision there. They saw the future, right? And so what did they do? Well, they snapped that up and they tore it down and they rebuilt. It looks beautiful. It fits, and it's going to be a smoking place.
There's a market 9 months out of the year right there.
Absolutely right there.
That's a no-brainer.
Because you set it right beside where a huge part of the market for Pizza Schmitza. Of
And
course, I
yours-
like Pizza Schmitza.
I do too.
There's another one coming in. Cascade Pizza's
Well,
coming in too.
that's another pizza parlor. But you know what? Everybody has a different taste.
Do, and it's a different niche. And I
Different-
read,
different-
sometimes I read, it's like, we don't need another this. It's like, really, I hear that a lot from people who have never owned a business before.
Exactly.
And that's
And I have
and
owned
that
a
gripes
business.
me a little bit. So get out there. If you want to open something up, go open it up.
One thing I want to do, and you and I might be able to work on it, but I'll get the point of contacts, is the small business information for individuals
Yeah.
that want to open a business, find out how to get loans, find out how to qualify.
Exactly right.
Get them that information because sometimes they don't know where to go.
Yeah, well, there's a wonderful resource, Clackamas County Small Business Resource Center,
Right.
over on Harmony Road.
I'm gonna have them in here.
right at it, and they're fantastic. They do an incredible job. I know when Dan Kinney and I started Full Bloom here in town, and Dan now owns it and it's going way further than what I could have ever helped with. But that's where we started. We went in there and we said, hey, we're just brand new. We don't know what to do, and they helped us. They were just incredible.
That's what I want to do. I want to bring them in here
Yeah,
because I think it's
absolutely.
important that
They're
the
great.
community knows that, hey, I have some money. Hey, I can get money. And hey, how do I do this?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. They show you the steps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The resources that we have, even in town, even if you never went out of the city limits, we have incredible business resources. I mean, talk about Renata Mengelberg, for example. She's in charge of economic development in Canby. Have you just driven down the industrial parks
Yes.
and seen what's going on there? We just celebrated with Shimadzu 20 years of being in Canby, Oregon.
And they expanded on that building.
They doubled their size, they
Right.
doubled their employee base. But here's the thing, this is how special Canby is. They looked nationally for a place to locate.
Got it.
And we got that piece of industrial manufacturer right here in Canby. The heads that be from Japan and said, we know where we'd like to locate. We need to go talk to the business owner, and we really want to talk to him about, what do you think that about was? What do you think what they wanted to talk to that business owner about? He's in the nursery industry. It shocked me.
Exporting something?
Yeah, it was. We need to talk to him about magnolias.
I was a good guesser.
It was about
Because I'm thinking dollars and I'm thinking,
Sure. It was about magnolias.
and I didn't know that.
And so they had a conversation, and through this conversation about this landowner's love and passion, they had enough sense to talk to them about his passion. He's the landowner.
The landowner.
And
About
how fast did the trust build?
just like that.
Just like that.
We can work together.
Because they know the value of what everybody's favorite subject is themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we just understood the art of asking people, this is one of those things that we talk about when people come into our businesses. We want to run our home movies and say, oh man, this is, our product, our service is great and everything. But really people don't want to hear about that. They want to be asked about themselves, because that's their favorite subject.
Exactly.
Right? So part of the art and part of how we need to progress and evolve as a community is learning the craft of people and understanding what turns people on to purchase.
Communication.
And it is communication. That's really what it is.
My favorite
it
subject.
is communication.
My favorite subject.
And so I think, in the future, we've got a lot of work to do. I think we've got a good core group of business owners that know what they're doing. I think we need to work off of each other. I think we need to work off of the entities that are involved in business, in chamber. There's a lot of good people in the chamber that know how to do business, right? From a lot of different products and services and perspectives. The city of Canby, invaluable to the process of putting in business. And they have a lot of intelligence. They've been down the road just a few times, right? Putting in businesses. But look, the things that we don't do well, there are those things that we don't do well. We need to work on those. We need to move forward and break through. If there's a piece of code that really prevents some businesses to come in, and that code might be changed easily, I think we need to look at that.
You need to ask.
We need to at least ask the question and challenge it and say, what can we do, as a city, as a chamber, as other entities, we need to be saying, how can we attract you to our town? How can we attract you, your business? We want your business in our downtown, and we're willing to make some concessions to make that happen.
Concession.
I think that's part of it.
I need 30 feet to be off this way. You only allow 15.
Right.
Well, let's work on that.
Let's work on that. Let's look at that. Now, does that mean we just go awry and we don't have any code and we don't have... No, that's not what we're saying. That's
We're
not what I'm
updating
saying.
codes is what we would be doing.
Well,
we're in the
we would,
21st century
and
now.
we need to look at it and analyze them and make sure that they still have value for today's market and for today's consumer.
Are you winded yet?
Yeah, I've been spitting here. I get passionate about what we're
Yeah,
talking
me too.
about.
I caught myself doing the same thing. So,
Yeah, anyway.
I'd like to say thank you. We need to talk again, though, because I have a lot more and information. I spoke with a woman, a professional in California.
Yeah.
And her deal was in the hotel business.
Yes.
And she turned a Red Lion hotel, which wasn't working,
Right.
into a Marriott.
Interesting.
It's a 12-story, 14-story hotel in my hometown in the Central Valley in California. She has all
Turned it
kinds
around, right?
Yeah, she turned it completely around, and now they're making money. See, and
Yeah.
so just questions and situations. I'm only just getting information, just stuff that is helpful to us and to our community as a whole.
Well, great. Listen, from a sheer business perspective, I appreciate you. You don't hold an office in town, but you're called our second mayor. You don't, there's a lot of things you're not necessarily like a part of, but you're a part of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not a part of that entity. You're not a part of the city. You're not a part, but you're a part of a lot of things. And thank you for the work that you do.
I like to work with everybody, anybody. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right on. Let's do it again, man.
Let's do it again, and we'll do some table talk next time. Thank
right.
you very much from CTV5. I'm Greg Perez, your host. We'll see you next time.